Hi, this is Janet Wakeland with RemarkablyCreated.com and the Remarkable Stampers. Today, with our My Digital Studio Monday episode, we want to talk about using overlays. Overlays traditionally are something that do just that. They overlay the top of your scrapbook page or your card or something like that. In the traditional scrapbooking world, these have usually been made of acetate and are clear with usually black or white ink on them, and you have to find different ways of attaching them. Within the digital world, we have a lot more flexibility with them, and they can lay either over top or they can lay underneath, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. Let's very quickly first look at the different overlays that are available, though, to you to purchase so that you can see them. And we come down here to background. We have hip and handsome, back up a second, we have eclectic overlays, and you can see the different frames here. And these are all sized for 12 by 12 pages. And then these are sized for your 11 by 8.5. This is a circle, and you can stretch that one to 8.5 by 11 vertical. You can see those. Hip and handsome overlays, which is the one that I'm working with. Dots and more modern feel to them. Great for creating plaids. We've got that fun one. Then we also have the Presto one. This is similar to our white cardstock that we had a few years ago, where you could put ink over it and the pattern would appear. Some of them are full paper patterns, and some of them are more relegated to just the corners. It's a pretty little outline there. Okay. Another one that we have is Sunset Serenade overlays. This coordinates with the sunset paper. So we have 3 overlays there. We have thoughtful overlays. These are frames. They're not really designed to be full page overlays, but you can indeed work with them. So you've got your different pieces. So you've got those. Those go over top. And then you have 2 more. You have vintage overlays. Again, that dotted distressed look. One of them here has a really cool kind of a worn ruler to it. And then in my category, I have the vintage overlay designer paper. We have paper that works as an overlay, but when it is used as a paper, you can't change the color of it. And in the paper section, it is always black. And so what I did was I shifted that paper, I copied and pasted it into my stamps category. And if you go to the digital crafting section on my blog, you can find a video on how to do just that. But I did shift that to the stamp area so that I can go ahead and I can change the colors, and I can use the designs that were available there too, because I liked some of the distressed edges that had, and some of the other types of fly specking and little specklings that they had available in that one. So let's go ahead now and let's show you first and foremost using your vintage overlays on the back of your paper. And what I found is you can do it one of 2 ways. What I did, and let's go ahead and let's open up our Hip and Handsome. And let's open that up and find the one that I chose. And I just bring it over. And when you just bring it over to your paper, it's an overlay, so it's going to lay on top. Now you most certainly can go ahead, and if it was just little dots and speckles, you could change it to whatever color you wanted it to be, and you could go ahead and certainly leave that over top. Obviously this one is too dark and it obliterates all of my work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change it to Early Espresso because it contrasts with the soft suede cardstock. I'm going to make sure that my whole page is covered with it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lighten the opacity. And because this works as a stamp, I have all of my stamp features. I have the ability to change the colors. I have the ability to match the colors. I could mirror or flip that. Some of the overlays you saw had images in like the upper left corner, upper right, and maybe you wanted them in opposite corners. Maybe you wanted the distressed look that was more deep on the top to be on the left or the right, so we can mirror, flip, rotate them. In addition, we can change the opacity. Now, I've got this on the top, and now all I'm going to do is I'm simply going to go send to back. And now what's going to happen is it's not on the photos, on any of the papers, it's simply laying on the soft suede cardstock, creating a new looking background paper for me. I could go ahead and I could have done stripes going up and down, sent it to the back, then left to the right, and sent it back to create a plaid look. Okay, just to show you how some other ones can work if you don't necessarily want to send them to the back. So that's one way. Again, is to lay it on top, fix it the way you want to look, and send it to the back, and it will just add a layer on top of your cardstock. But then just to show you what one on top would look like, Let's go with our vintage overlays. And let's just take this one here that has a little bit of texture, a little distressing. I call a little bit of dirt, which is actually kind of perfect for this hunting. So you can see here that it has that little bit of dirt. And sometimes you're going to want that little bit of speckling maybe over top of your paper, over top of your words, maybe even over top of the edge of your photo. And again, because it works like any other stamp, I can go ahead and I can grab those corners. So it doesn't have to be over your whole paper. I could indeed, if I wanted to, start to size this and work with it in just a very specific area. Okay, so I could just have it, you know, in some place special that I wanted it to be for whatever reason. Okay, this is just showing you possibilities. And then again, because it's a stamp, I can go ahead and I can change the color. And in this case, I might choose to leave it on the top so that the edges of my photo, my paper around just that were distressed. So I'll just go ahead and make that white so you can see it show up. You can work with it over top. Or again, you can stretch it back to its full size. Just make it our big full size. And sometimes you can actually take them. Okay, so we'll just stretch it back to our full size. And now looking at that, I like that rough edge, for example, but it's just still a little too much for me, a little too wide. So I can actually stretch it beyond the boundaries of the paper so that I'm not getting as much of it. So let me just stretch it again a little bit more because I'd like to stretch it a little bit beyond. So you have quite a bit of control with working with your overlays. So again, they work just like stamps, and you can go ahead and you can do that. So again, you can lay it over top. This one here, I simply sent it straight to the back after I designed it all. I brought it in, laid it on top, and then right-clicked on send to back and send it to the back of my paper. And then on this one here, I left it on top of my paper to work with. And then one last thing that you can do, let's bring this one back up again, is now I have it on top. The other thing that you can do is now you can also send backwards, which will start to layer it between it. We'll send it backwards one layer at a time. And there's a lot of layers on this page, so you may not notice it right away, but maybe you don't want it on your words. And so you're going to just send it back. Maybe you didn't want it on the corner embellishment. So you can just start sending it backwards till it's below or behind what you want it to be behind that's on your page. So I might want it on top of certain pieces, but not all of them. So again, I just keep sending backwards, and again, you may not start to see them all because it's slowly working its way behind all the layers. So that's it. I mean, that's really your simple 2 to 3 minute tutorial on using overlays. So go ahead and have fun purchasing them and putting them to use and using them way beyond the ability that you would have with a single acetate transparency in our traditional world of scrapbooking. So have a great day and God bless.